Hey everybody, happy New Year's Eve. It's Dr. Darya Ghafourpour, and thanks for joining me on another Friday Night Live here on Facebook and later on YouTube. And I'm super glad to be here again. You know, it's been fun. I've been doing this Friday evening broadcast. I think I've only missed one when I was feeling a bit under the weather. Boy, for close over 5 months. Yeah, over 5 months. And it's been a fun experience. I've really enjoyed the feedback and input that I've been getting from folks like you who are just resonating with the message and kind of encouraging me on and giving me ideas of what to chat about in future videos. And for me, it's something that I look forward to, actually. Sometimes I feel a little bit nervous, like, what am I going to talk about? But I always know that it comes, you know, sooner or later, the ideas come, and the intention is always to send a positive message with a high frequency. So some of you can speak that language and others might not know exactly what I'm talking about, but the basic idea is that kind of sit with it in a mini meditation, and my intention is to share light with the world, whoever will tune in. And I have been really happy and have been having a really good time with the comments that I get from people and discussions that have happened. And what I find is that a lot of people don't actually, most people don't physically write comments down, but when I see them in person or speak to them on the phone, I'll hear feedback and I'll hear gratitude, and I'll hear people like, yeah, I'm glad that you were talking about that. Hey, I had something similar going on in my own life. And so that's a feel good moment for me. So it's kind of a validation that I'm on the right path with this. And even though it's free form, meaning I just go with the flow, so to speak, and we'll chat about whatever it is that feels important at that time. What I have found is that there's always somebody who is touched in one way or another in a positive way. So that means my mission is accomplished. And what I like is that I've got these videos out there in the ethernet. So, you know, if you care to share the message with anybody, just click share at the bottom of the video, or you could copy the link and send it in an email. If someone's not on Facebook, you can search me out on YouTube, Dr. Darya Ghafourpour, the Gentle Dentist, and send a link that way, and they can check out the rest of the videos on that channel too. So it's kind of a way of spreading the love. So, you know, speaking of intention, which is, I mentioned that a little bit earlier, how that's important for me to do. And I am just double checking that. Yep, it looks like I am live. So I set the intention for these videos. I kind of put myself in a space of wanting to share, wanting to reach out to the community, which I know is not only my local community of people that I am physically near, but also a worldwide community. And that's been super fun for me. I have to say, it's really neat knowing that there are people in countries far away from me who are tuning in and who are engaging, you know, meaning they'll chat, they'll have conversations with me about this. And other than that, as far as setting intentions, that's the phrase that comes up for me regarding a new year, because here we are in 2 days, at least in California time. We're going to be on January 1st, 2017. And, you know, I know that this 2016 has been quite a whirlwind for many people on multiple levels. And, you know, I can think of that in a general way, and you can think of specifics as well. But in a general way, I kind of look at events in our lives with an overall perspective. And it's my choice how I choose to receive news. It's my choice how I choose to receive, how I receive information, and how I disseminate that out again. So we're all receivers. So it's like we're an antenna, you know, we receive information. We receive, whether it's through conversations, whether it's through the media, on television, on social media, by opening up your web browser and you see the news there. And then we process information and we send it out. So we have a choice on how we interpret information that comes our way, and we have a choice on how to feed back outward that information that we decide is important to share. And so with that little bit of background, that's how I choose to move into the new year. Is I'm setting an intention that it's going to be my strongest year yet. And I mean that on a personal level. I feel like I'm more grounded than I've been in the past. And that's one of the neat things about, I don't want to say getting older, but, living the life that you've lived. It's like when I think of what it was like 20 years ago, life is quite a bit easier today than it was then because we have all of that experience behind us, right? So it's a choice. And as I'm reflecting about the new year, I'm choosing to look outward in a positive direction of being coming from strength, and that to me means like putting my best foot forward and thinking through my actions before I do them, before I do anything. That could be as simple as on a business level. If I receive a solicitation call for any kind of service, well, I'll think about it. I'm not one to be caught on the phone and go, oh yeah, just because you've told me that a lot of people use this service and it's a great thing to have, and hey, we'll refer a lot of patients to you. For example, that was a conversation that I had this morning on the phone. It doesn't mean that I doubt that that's a possibility, but I'm not somebody to just jump on that and go, oh yeah, I'm gonna, focus some of my resources in your direction. I'm going to pay you because you said that you're good. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to think about it. I'm going to research it. I'm going to look at, checks and balances and see if it's something that makes sense for me to do. So it's in a similar way that's like a business decision. We all have decisions that we make regarding our finances. What are we going to choose to purchase? As basic of an example as that is, we make choices on how we communicate with people. We make choices about how we perceive other people and how we'll present ourselves to other people. You might be used to someone who kind of has an angry disposition or someone who comes across negatively. Maybe you have someone in your life that, they're kind of a fuddy-duddy and you almost brace yourself because whatever is going to come out of their mouth, it's like they're in the doldrums or life isn't good. And there's always something to be upset about or angry about, this world, everything is going wrong. It's like my candidate didn't win and this is going to pot, this is going down south. It's not going well. And they start thinking of all these things that have gone wrong. What if you had an intention with someone who's like that to just send them really good thoughts? And when you encounter them, even if they do come along in that path, what if you remain neutral in hearing wherever they're coming from and choose to reflect back to them something that you see about them that's really wonderful, that you really appreciate about them? What if you expressed some gratitude to them for a way, what they mean to you or what role they've had in your life, and you'll watch and see how things shift on their end. So you're creating your own reality at that moment. You're deciding that you're not gonna sink down to a lower level of energy than where you are already. You're choosing not to get pulled down, but you're choosing to hold yourself up higher, not in a way that's condescending to the other person or to other people, but in a way that allows you to stay grounded and stay strong. And you're deciding, I want to feel good right now. I know that person is having an issue, and that doesn't mean that I'm having an issue, and that doesn't mean that I have to see the world in a dark way. And what if I could say something that might shine a little bit of light in that person's life? And how might they respond? And how might they be able to see their reality in a more positive way? And can you imagine if you were to do that with one person each day? Maybe that's not very much. Maybe you interact with a lot of people on a daily basis. Then you could really touch a lot of people's lives. Or what if you don't see someone on a daily basis? What if you live by yourself, or you're out in the boondocks and you don't have a lot of people contact? That's okay. You can just decide that the next time you're going to have a human interaction with someone, and it could be online. It might not be in a vocal conversation. It might be on a video, on an electronic chat. It doesn't matter, what the medium is. It doesn't matter in what form that communication might take place. What matters is that you set an intention for having a positive imprint on someone else's life, and you watch how that spreads around, how it spreads outward. And so personally, that's an intention that I am setting for 2017. People have asked me, well, what about New Year's resolutions? Are you going to make a list? Do you know what your resolutions are going to be? And I've never been real strong with creating resolutions for New Year's. It almost seems a little bit random. Like, why would I choose to do something just because it's January 1st? But it's a reset time. It's a sanctioned marker on the calendar, that a time that's kind of designated as a new beginning, literally a new beginning. And so I suppose rather than using the word resolution, I'm choosing the word intention, because that's easier for me to process and consider how it is that I'm living my daily life, and that my intention is to be as strong as I can for myself, so that I can touch people in a positive way and hopefully help uplift somebody else. And that doesn't mean that I'm always feeling uplifted by any means. I've got my moments, I think, just like everybody else. And when I have those moments, I let myself go through that in what feels like an appropriate way. So if I'm in public, or if I'm in a situation, if I'm at work, and maybe if I feel troubled about something, it's not going to be appropriate for me to lash out at somebody, or to start dumping what feels like problems on someone else. To me, that doesn't feel appropriate in my life. So I can still have my feelings, and then when I'm alone with myself, or with someone that it feels right to be with and process through whatever it is that I'm feeling, then that's fine. And then I can move through it, because I'm letting myself feel it and experience whatever that is. And so that's part of my intention. That's intentional for me. That's on purpose. That's my personal way of living my life on purpose as best I can. And I guess that's why I'm sharing that with you, because I can't tell anyone else how to be. I can only speak from my own personal experience, or from experiences that other people have shared with me, or that I've read about, and that I know to be true or to be real. And I'm just hoping that by my bringing up these topics, you might hear them in such a way that helps you, and that can help somebody else. And because I keep going back to that, just imagine if you can touch one person's life, and what if you've uplifted that person? Will they uplift somebody else? And can we keep raising the frequency, raising that good vibration that we're experiencing, so that other people can experience that as well? And how might that affect the rest of our reality, the rest of the people in our world? And I just think that this is an important time to ponder these topics that I'm talking about here. For me, I'm relating it with the new year, and you don't have to necessarily relate that with the new year. It's a topic that's relevant on any day of the week and on any day on the calendar. And it's just something that feels good, that's present on my mind right now, and that I hope will sit with you well. And I hope that you can think about that. If you're someone to write your New Year's resolutions, why don't you think about what your intention is for this year too? That might be in your business. It might be at your job. It might be with your coworkers. It might be with family members, how you choose to be. Can you set an intention to be more present? Can you set an intention to live your life on purpose. My definition of that is, it relates with not being reactionary, not reacting to circumstances and other people, but to sit with your response and then purposefully choose the words that you would want to hear coming out of your mouth, you know? And if you slip, you slip. If you say something that you regret, you'll know it. And then just be present in that moment too, you know, and just bring that up and address it. And then again, you'll be able to move forward. So without feeling like life is horrible and terrible and you're a failure because you made a mistake and you said something you didn't mean to say. Just address it and move on. It's something that we can all do. And for me, it's been like a life in training for me. So I've been practicing that throughout my life. And I feel like I've been getting better about it. But, you know, I'm not that way all the time. But I do my best to be that way on Friday nights when I'm talking to you on Facebook. So anyway, you know, leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what intentions you have for the new year, and let's have a little bit of a conversation. You know, and do you know that when you type something out, when you write it out, it becomes more of a reality. It's more real. You're kind of making a commitment to whatever that intention is, because you've spoken it out. It's literal, it's legible, you know, it's tangible. So do that here on the comments on my video, and make it real for yourself, and send anybody else over to have a look and sit with it, grab a cup of tea or coffee, and you know, chill out a little bit, be good to yourself, let yourself relax, be good to yourself, you know. I know I just said I'm not someone to tell other people what to do, but I'll tell you to be good to yourself. How's that? Because you might not be telling that to yourself. All right, so I'm going to sign out now. I appreciate you spending time with me here tonight, and I wish you the very best with your New Year celebrations and in 2017 to come. And like I've said before, send people my way if you feel that the message would resonate with them, and you know, like my Facebook page if you haven't done it yet. Leave a comment, you know, below, or send someone to YouTube to view these videos, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I love that I'm seeing more and more people connecting with me. It makes me feel really good, and I'm just trusting that that good things are happening as a result of this. So I thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next time in 2017. Bye now.